Hey there, superstar. Thanks for joining me. Welcome back to the next episode of Manifestation, where your passion becomes your business. Today we talk defining your message. So how do you define your message? There's a few things that I want to go over with you in this topic. Actually, 8 different points I want to highlight. The first point is going to be target audience, right? How do we define what that is and how you serve that audience? Second one is branding. We're going to talk about what kind of branding you should put in place and how to structure that in the right way. 3, colors. How to understand the type of colors to choose within your business. 4 is tagline, right? Do you need one? How does it work? How would you use it? 5, sound bites. Why do you need them and how to use them? 6, elevator pitch, right? If somebody comes to you and talked about your business, you got to be quick and concise. Right? The last one, or last 2, is your story and positioning, right? Your story is really how to get people to understand who you are, right? Or the story of your brand. And positioning, how to position yourself as an expert in your industry. So let's go back to the top, target audience. Now, I hope you guys have a pen and paper handy, because if you do not, it's going to be hard for you to kind of grasp all this information in. So definitely grab some notes. If you need to, go ahead and pause this. Right? So let's dive right in. Target audience. How do you define a target audience? Well, when you start a business or you're marketing your business, you have to make sure you are marketing very specifically. You do not want to try and reach anybody and everybody. That's one of the worst things I hear when talking to businesses is I ask them, who is your target market? And they tell me, anybody and everybody can use this. It's just anybody. It's for everyone. And I was like, oh, that's just the worst way to market, because you're going to waste a lot of money. Because you got to understand, right? If you do business with everybody 18 and above, you'll understand you'll have a certain percentage of the 18 to 25s that do business with you. You have a certain percentage of 25 to 35 that will do business with you. You may understand that 45 to 55 is the sweet spot. That majority of people that do business with you jump right in. But if you're targeting everybody, well, then you're just kind of losing the success of your campaigns, because you're just blanking at everybody, right? And you're spreading yourself too thin. So being very specific in your target audience, that is what works. Get to know, as much as you can about your audience. This comes down to data, right? You need to understand how your customer thinks. What products and services do they buy? What income level are they at? What kind of TV shows do they watch? Do they even watch TV? What kind of books are they reading, right? What kind of education level do they have? Are they male? Are they female? Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced, right? Do they have a gambling problem? There's so many ways that you can tie in data points to your customers to where you can fully understand how to serve them. If you can understand that your customer is between a certain age group and they like certain things, well, now you can target them in a very specific way with a specific message. It could be something like, do you like XYZ? If you do, you're going to love this. It could be that simple. So having an understanding of who your audience is always going to be a better fit for your business. All right, the next one is branding. Right? How do you brand your business? I think you can hear my daughter in the background. Yeah, she's a little excited. But let's get back into business here. So branding. How do you position your brand when targeting your customers? Well, if you're defining your message, your branding should always talk to your customers. And that's why we focused on your audience first. Without understanding who your audience is, there's no way for you to build your brand efficiently. So if you understand your audience is millennials and they're guys, well, you probably have a branding that's very geared towards millennial males, right? Understand that message. If your target audience is moms with kids, well, you probably should choose your branding that ties around moms and kids as the demographic that you want to reach, right? The next one, colors. This kind of ties into branding as well. Your colors should always be reaching the audience that you're talking to, right? If you're reaching a very, calm and soft audience, well, you should probably use calm and soft colors, right? If you're trying to get people to take action really quickly, you probably want to use a lot of reds. If you want to get people to read a lot of the content you have, you want to use a lot of yellows. If you're trying to get people to, data analyze a lot of stuff for you, well, probably use a lot of greens. If you're sharing a lot of step-by-step, you want to get people to trust you, then probably use a lot of blues. There's a lot of kind of color tie-ins, and that can go into a simple Google search or a YouTube search to give you a bunch of answers on that. But really understanding the colors that you are using in your branding, you'll understand how that's making a difference in the audience that you reach. So again, target your audience, know who your customer is. Once you do that, your branding can tie in very easily. Now you may ask, well, Manny, what if I'm just starting my business? What if I don't even know what audience I have? Well, choose one, pick one, right? Now keep in mind, you can always change it. I've launched products and services under multiple different brands and different colors and different ideas, and to see what works. And I see things that work and I see things that don't, right? It's a lot of trial and error in business. You have to think of yourself as kind of like a mad scientist, right? You're not this, entrepreneur, right? An entrepreneur, 97% of them fail. You don't want to be looked at as a failure. Now, understanding a mad scientist, well, we know they fail a lot because they're looking for that big win. And we understand a mad scientist is always making new creations, always trying new things. Think of yourself as a mad scientist. You got to try new things. You got to be testing different ideas to see what works, because your market is always changing. Your market is always adapting. Your market gets saturated with one thing one month, and it could be saturated with one thing the other. So understand that you've got to be liquid. You've got to be a chameleon in a sense to your audience, because whatever your audience wants, you need to deliver. And if your audience is not getting what they want from you, they're going to find it in someone else, right? Now let's go into the tagline, number 4. What is this? Well, a tagline is simply, kind of like when I say manifestation, we're turning your passion into your business, right? That, where your passion becomes your business. That is a tagline, right? It is the simple one sentence that tells people what you do. It's a tagline, right? Where your passion becomes your business. I think you can understand what that happens in this program. We're going to teach you how to take your passion and you're going to turn it into a business. Tagline, okay? Come up with a tagline. Think of one simple sentence that can explain what you do, right? Very simple. And if you need to, you can Google, tagline generators, where you can just throw in a couple of inspirational words you would want to use, and it will come up with some different taglines. All kinds of cool things on the internet these days, so definitely check those out. There's probably some app you can download that'll help you create your own tagline. Sound bites. This is also something that's very similar to taglines, but could be a little longer, right? It could be 2 to 3 sentences. But the idea is something that you could use, and if imagine that you were being interviewed on media and someone wanted to get the quick 10 seconds of what it is that you do, or how you can help somebody, or what the topic of your book is, or what your product or service is about, or what have you. The idea is when you have sound bites, this could be just, stats and figures that help promote what you do. It could be a simple results-based statement that you talk about. It could be an offer that you promote. That could be specific to tying into a success program that you offer. Whatever it is, the idea of a soundbite is just giving really quick information that you have at your disposal. So if somebody asks you something quick, you have a response that's pretty quick, okay? When you get into your elevator pitch, this is where you get a little bit longer, okay? This is the 30 seconds to 2 minutes of what you do. So somebody that says, what do you do? Don't start with the elevator pitch, right? You start with the soundbite. You start with the tagline, right? You give them something simple and something quick that gets them to say, I want to hear more, right? If you give them the whole pitch up front, well, it's not going to be too exciting. They already know it all, right? You want to get them to be intrigued and then give them your elevator pitch. So always start with a tagline, then a soundbite, then your elevator pitch, right? It's a very simple method you can implement with your business that really gets people to understand how to dive in to what they want to know, right? And now it allows you to kind of see what people are interested in. right? So an elevator pitch, if you don't understand what that is, it's just a really long explanation. Well, not really long, 2 minutes max. But if you really counted 2 minutes of talking, it really seems pretty long. So understand an elevator pitch is a pretty detailed description of what it is that you do and how you help people. And understand, if you're talking an elevator pitch, really just give them four things. And this is kind of how I structure marketing videos. If you're doing a video about your business, this should be the elevator pitch, right? And the elevator pitch should have four things. It should have a yes question, right? Where it could be tying into a question that says, if you say yes to this, you'd be a perfect customer for me, right? So here's an example. Let's say I'm a coach on lead generation, because I am. So I asked somebody, man, wouldn't it be awesome if you could just be generating leads every single day, whether you do anything or not? They're going to say yes, right? Then I know, hey, you're probably a good customer for me, because you probably have a business, you want to generate leads, and you'd like to have them every day on autopilot. Perfect, right? Then you're going to tell them a quick 30-second story of why you have interest in that subject. It could be, hey, I was in the same boat as you, right? You got to kind of put yourself in their shoes, right? They want to see that you can be relatable to them. If you're not relatable to them, they're going to tune out right away. So of course, right off the bat, you got to ask them that yes question. This will let them know that, yo, this is probably a good opportunity for me to be listening to, because it ties into something that would interest me. Right off the bat, within a couple seconds, I know whether or not this conversation is worth continuing, right? A 30-second story that ties into how you relate is going to dive it even more deeper, right? So I could say something like, yeah, man, I felt exactly the same way you did. You know, I've been trying to generate leads consistently in my business all the time. I understand that leads are either a make or break in your business. If you don't have a consistent flow of quality leads, your business is dying. Yet you don't want to be spending all day, prospecting. So, crazy thing is, here's what I discovered, right? And that's step 3. You're going to go into something that says, I discovered the way to solve this problem, right? I've got a way to do that. Here's what I discovered. Mobile apps is one of the best ways that you can generate leads in your sleep, right? You can create an app that ties into something that you do, that you love to do, that you can teach somebody constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you don't even have to freaking do anything. It does it by itself. It's like somebody working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? And then you got to give them the call to action. That's step 4. You got to tell them what they need to do next if they're interested. Right now, if you're face to face with somebody, you could be talking about something you give away, right? Man, I wrote a book about this structure I teach about. I've got this video I created online about it. I've got this course. I've got this content. I've got this download, this ebook, whatever it is, right? Something that you have that says, look, I've got so much more information on this. I'd love to talk to you about it right now, but it'd be kind of, a long conversation. Let's grab a bite to eat. Let me grab your information. Let's have a conversation if this interests you, right? So it kind of lets them know, look, I don't have a lot of time to chat about this right now, but I'd love to give you more information about this. Now, if this is an online video, now you're tying into, look, I'd love to give you more information about this. I've got a whole program, or I've got a free video, or whatever it is. Some call to action that says, I want to give you more. Here's what you need to do to get it, right? That's what your elevator pitch should include. And if you want to get a quick recap on that, because I know we'll kind of get the detailed on that, step 1 is the yes question. Got to ask that yes question that says, yes, if I say yes to this, I could be a good customer for you. 2 is your 30-second story. Tells them why this is an interest to you and how you can relate to them. 3 is your discovery. Here's what I discovered. Use those exact words pretty much. And then 4 is the call to action. What do you need to do next to get more information or access to whatever it is you're trying to give them, right? So focus on that. The last 2 things I want to cover is your story and positioning. Now, why do I want to cover your story? Well, people want to do business with whom they know, like, and trust. In today's digital age, you can't hide anything. So the face of the company, you might as well be it, right? If it's a brand and you want nothing to do with the face of your company and that kind of stuff, then focus on the story of the brand. but you got to tell a story. People need to know your origins. They need to know behind the scenes. They need to know who you are and why you do what you do. If you just want to sell a product or service and, do a drop shipping business, right? Where you don't have to really create a brand around anything. You can just sell a product or sell somebody else's product. But if you want to really get your message and you want to define it in a unique way, tell your story. Your story is what's unique. It's what makes you you. It's what makes people understand why you do the things you do so they can know, like, and trust you, right? In the positioning. How do you position yourself? Well, I like to use leverage, and I'm going to talk to you guys more about leverage later in this course, but leverage is a great way for positioning. One, it gives you the ability to find people that are super experts and super influential in the audience that you're trying to reach and to create relationships with them, right? This, again, that ties back into one of the main things we discussed in the last training, which was relationships. Positioning. Position yourself as an expert. And the way you do that is you got to give the information away. Give it away for free, right? Tell somebody how you do it. Put it in some type of duplicatable format like a video or audio like this, and position yourself. 97% of the people that go through your program will not take action unless you're very, very good at getting them to go through it, right? You got to be consistently persistent. But most people are not they're not going to take action. And when they do, they're going to take action with you. So they're going to see you as the expert, you as their mentor, in a sense, that's taught them what they need to know. So now it is, they just have to take action. And if you position yourself right, they're going to take action with you, which is going to allow you more monetization opportunities. So that is how you're going to define your message. Again, let's do a quick recap. The first thing you wanted to do is you have to target your audience. You want to be very, very specific. Don't be broad in this area. Be very specific, understanding everything from, how old they are, from their income level to education level to even how many cats they have, right? You got to understand everything about your customer. The more you understand, the more success you will have. Branding is all about your audience. You got to understand who you're talking to and be that chameleon to your audience. If you're not giving the right branding message, you're probably not going to get the right results that you're looking for. Colors are very important, so always understanding the colors that you should have in your business. And all of this can be done with quick Google searches, guys. So I'm giving you the topics that you should know, but you got to dive into these topics, right? You got to really dive into them and what you need to understand if you really want to kind of really make this to your specific business, right? Because I can give you the ideas of what you need to look for, because a lot of people, I'm giving you what you don't know, right? That's the kind of idea of this program. Understanding what is the things that you should know about your business and the things that you should be putting in place for your business to create success. And then you have to go dive in deeper for these to master these skills, right? Understanding how to target your audience. I gave you the topic. Now you got to go and understanding who your audience is. Do the research. Look into your competitors. Find out who they're targeting. Find out what branding colors they're using. Right? It's really easy, guys. If you want to have success, go to the people who are already having massive success in your business and look at what they're doing. They've already spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources, and a lot of energy into creating what they have. And if they already have created success in your space, it's not that hard to figure out what works and make it your own to where you put your own flavor on it, right? Everything that I'm teaching you is not something that just popped into my head, right? Somebody taught me it. I invested into somebody's seminar, somebody's coaching, somebody's book, somebody's intellectual property that I've invested into to understand how it works. Then I took that information, I implemented it into my business. I got results with it. I then duplicated those results with my customers, and now I teach it, right? This is what you can do in your business, regardless of the industry that you're in. Right? So colors. Then you got to go to tagline, right? There's 3 different ways you talk about your business. You got your tagline, your sound bites, and your elevator pitch. Remember, your tagline is 1 sentence. That's it. Okay? Your sound bites, those could be a paragraph. Think of them as much as a paragraph. That's it. Your elevator pitch, well, that's like an essay, right? That's a 2-minute at max talk about what you do, right? It may be 30 seconds. It could be just 1 to 2 paragraphs, right? But at the end of the day, That's how you talk about your business, but you start with your tagline. Anybody tells you what you do, give them your tagline. Get them, and your tagline should be intriguing, right? If I tell somebody, they ask me, hey, Manny, what do you do? Well, I turn ideas into reality. Want to see how? Right? It could be that simple, and they're going to go, yeah, show me how. Then I could talk about sound bites, right? Or I can show them something physical that I'm showing them what I do, right? And then I can go into my elevator pitch when I know this is something that may interest them, right? My elevator pitch goes over those 4 topics, right? You want to first ask the yes question. You then do the 30-second story. You do the discovery, and then you call to action. Very simple. And if you want to have success in a very more intimate way with your community, you got to talk about your story. And you got to position yourself as an expert by doing many different things. You can leverage the success of other people. You can teach your strategies to people, right? So many people think that, well, if I teach my strategies, they're just going to run off with my ideas and steal all my customers. That's not really true, right? You got to understand everything that you share, everything that you talk about is already out there in some way. People just got to go find it, right? But if you put it in an organized format for your customers, you make it simple for them to access, well, 97 out of 100 are not going to take action without you. They're going to position you as the expert. They're going to see that this is the person who has the answer. And even if they see the answer from somebody else, they're going to know that you have the answer. More people will do business with you versus the people you lose in business. So focus on teaching the people that want to learn in your audience. They're going to learn enough to where they'll understand that you are the expert to do business with. And understand in sales, 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. This is done by the National Sales Executive Association if you want to look this up. Only 2% of sales happen on the 1st contact. Okay, 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. And we're going to talk about more of that in the follow-up section of this course. So I'll see you guys on the next video, the next one that we've got coming up, or not next video, next part of this course, because you may be listening in audio, you may be listening in video. Heck, this may be even transcribed. I don't even know. Right now I'm doing this in audio as you hear this now. So we'll see all the different methods I'll get this delivered to you. But however way you're listening to this or consuming this content, the next video or the next content, the next part of our course is going to be on systems, eyeballs, and opportunities. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and always remember that you are too blessed to be stressed. Have a great day.